Coming up on Network Africa, a Ugandan military helicopter crashes at Mogadishu's main airport in Somalia. Nigeria reaffirms commitment to deepening collaboration with St. Lucia in education, culture and technology. Plus, around 40 undocumented foreign nationals arrested in surprise raid in Johannesburg, South Africa. Hello and welcome to the program today. I'm Layo Olarinde. We begin with a military helicopter crash, a Ugandan craft that crashed at Mogadishu's main airport in Somalia with 8 people on board. The crash happened at the Aden Ade International Airport, where a fire broke out and sent thick smoke into the sky. Emergency services quickly contained the fire, but the cause of the crash and details on casualties remain unclear. Well, the head of the Somali Civil Aviation Authority, Ahmed Malim, reports that the helicopter had come down in the airport's military section after flying in from an airbase. He adds that an investigation is underway to establish the cause of the crash. And in a truly historic moment, St. Lucia has conferred its prestigious national honor, the Knight Commander of the Order of St. Lucia, upon Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu. This esteemed recognition celebrates his exceptional leadership and profound contributions to strengthening the enduring historical and cultural bonds between Africa and the Caribbean. The solemn investiture was performed by the Governor General of St. Lucia, Errol Charles, during an official reception at the Government House, Morn Fortune. In the meantime, Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed the country's commitment to deepening collaboration with St. Lucia in education, culture and technology. The president visited the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College in Morn Fortune, Castries, on Tuesday, the 4th day of his state visit to St. Lucia. He engaged with faculty, staff and students of the institution, named after Sir Arthur Lewis, the 1979 Nobel laureate in economic sciences. Addressing the gathering, President Tinubu described the student community as vital to building a strong Afro-Caribbean future, acknowledging education as the most effective weapon against poverty. The president encouraged students to be bold, consistent and disciplined in their pursuit of knowledge.
The Memorial College, the community college, is an instrument to fight poverty. Nothing like education can fight poverty. It's the greatest instrument that we are employed to do so. And I congratulate you, the faculty and member of staff, for taking this seriously. And I advise the student too, for your determination, commitment. If anybody tells you that education is not crucial, ask them to try ignorance. There's nothing that we learn from this college that is better than perseverance, consistency in learning, dedication, sparing your time, management of time and risk, that's the most valuable resource that you will have in your lifetime, and you will never, never have enough of it. I stand before you saying that. As I became the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I can still tell you about what is the value of time management. It's the most resource that no mankind will ever have enough of it. So what you get out of this college is your own, that you can use to achieve anything in life. Just be determined, be consistent, and be very bold.
Here in Nigeria, the Lagos state government has commenced the enforcement of the ban on single-use plastics after 6 months' notice to all stakeholders involved. The State Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Mr. Tokunbo Wahab, made the announcement during a press conference held in Alausa, Ikeja. He says any company that refuses to adhere to the ban on single-use plastics will be prosecuted and sealed off. Several African countries, including Malawi, Rwanda, Kenya, and Tanzania, have also intensified efforts to enforce ban on thin and single-use plastics.
Lagos State has not banned the production of all the categories of plastics. And let me mention here that the producers and distributors of the banned items in the state have the option of selling them outside Lagos State. 8. For avoidance of doubt, here are items affected by the ban and the ban reasons for each of the ban. 1. Styrofoam packs, banned due to their harmful environmental impact. 2. Plastic straws, prohibited to reduce plastic waste and promote sustainability. 3. Disposable cups and cutleries, banned to minimize plastic pollution in the environment. 4. Lightweight nylon bags, banned due to its non-reusable and non-biodegradable quality. 9. If after 18 months moratorium, the producers have not been able to embrace alternatives to single-use plastics, it only means they have no intention of complying at all. We shall confiscate, we shall seal, and we shall prosecute. There is no reason why you have teeth and you can only bark, you can't bite. States are governed by laws, and we shall do what we have to do to protect our citizens.
Well, for more on this, we're now being joined by Temitope Okunu, founder of the FABE International Foundation, and she's also an environmentalist. She joins us from Lagos. Thank you for your time on Network Africa.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, does this ban make you happy that it is being implemented?
Well, as you can see, my smile. Yeah, I mean, for us environmentalists and recyclers in Lagos State, it's one step in the very right direction. So, and these SUPs that have been banned have been very problematic, So the fact that it has been banned now after giving 18 months of awareness, for every other person, everybody to get prepared, I think it's a good thing that we have taken that bold step in Lagos State. The enforcement of this ban is a very critical step in tackling our city's growing plastic, pollution crisis. So yes, it's a welcome idea. Welcome thing.
Yes, but would you
hear me?
agree? Yes, I can hear you. Would you agree that this would, be difficult for a lot of people? So perhaps a gentle withdrawal, and also suggestions as to viable alternatives that will replace these SUPs eventually.
Well, let me start by saying that, the fact that it has been banned, the nylon bags less than 40 microns, the straws, the styrofoam, most most particularly, they are major culprits, when you talk about blocked drainages in the city of Lagos, leading to urban flooding, eliminating all of these materials in the first instance will keep our drainages clear, particularly during seasons like this that is raining, right? And then when you see fewer of materials like this plastics littering our streets, our places, our waterways or drainages, communities will be cleaner, our environment will be cleaner, we will be faced with reduction of health hazards, or even stagnant water in the first place. Most importantly, again, is that when single-use plastics contaminate or the environment, they contribute to climate change, particularly when you burn them, or when it is degraded. And this reduces, the emissions that comes out of the burning. Lastly, the fact that this ban has come at this time, it helps to streamline the waste stream, making it easier for recyclers to now focus on higher value and more recoverable plastic. So when you said when the single-use plastic has been targeted at this particular plastic product, because of the nuisance that comes with it. But when you talk about alternatives now, several alternatives to single-use plastics are very, very I mean, we have some of them. For example, when the foundation does its closeouts every March for the EcoSource program that we have in the foundation, we usually have the Boni Bio company come around to donate recyclable, biodegradable materials, in things like the food packs, the spoons, the cutleries. They are all biodegradable, made from plant-based packaging, cassava and cornstarch. And we have other materials made from sugarcane these days. And you have seen other materials from the coconut, husks, right? Where it is being shaped into bowls and spoons and, cutleries in the likes. You also see banana leaves. I mean, let's go back to basics where our rice is being served in banana leaves, our ofada rice. It even tastes sweeter in those leaves, right? And now we promote the growing of such leaves in our homes, because you can grow banana, you can grow ewe moi moi, the leaf. It looks like banana leaves, right? But that's why I call it banana
Yes.
leaves. You can also use turmeric leaves to wrap your eba, your amala, and all of that. You have so many materials that we can begin to innovate on. Let us reinforce the jute, the cotton, our recycled bags from materials, cloth bags, instead of taking our into the supermarket. Thankfully, because of the laws that we have in Lagos State now, you cannot, you know, you cannot use the plastic bag in some supermarkets in Lagos State today. And if you must use, you have to pay heavily, to get those bags. And that's just a wonderful position that we are here in Lagos State. It will reduce a lot of this nuisance, this nylon nuisance, in the environment. Lastly, there are compostable materials as well. When you use them, they break down immediately. So these are many alternatives that we have, available even in Lagos State, and people can start embracing.
Yes, and this is sure to bring, some lifestyle changes. As an environmentalist and also a Lagosian, I believe you're looking forward to a cleaner Lagos state. But, are there really enough waste bins around to help, this policy, the sustainability of this policy?
Oh, well, I mean, this is not the final solution. It's a starting point of a broader cultural shift, towards sustainable living and production. So the key lies in designing out waste, innovating for alternatives and engaging everyone from policymakers to informal everyday citizens like you and I to build a plastic-free future. And if we must do that, infrastructure is a very, very important aspect of ensuring that everybody is living that sustainable lifestyle. We need to bring infrastructures in place, ensure that we are collaborating with the right people, businesses, private sectors to help us in ensuring that we have the right infrastructure very close to the communities where, where the source of waste is being generated. And conversations around that should begin. Recyclers are also have a lot of challenges in getting to hard to reach communities. We need infrastructures like mobility, the giant recycle bin. For us, for example, at the foundation, we have donated over 100 recycle bins in schools and communities to ensure that our communities, particularly our schools and homes, around that community are able to, recycle their waste materials closer to them. And then recyclers are assigned to such communities to, recover, those waste materials for recycling purposes.
Thank you. Temitope Okunu, founder of FABE International Foundation and Lagos Environmentalist. Thank you for your time on our program.
Thank you so much.
Well, let's take a break now on the program. Still to come. We're looking at a smart innovation coming in from Ghana for the visually impaired, a smart cane. We'll give you more details after the break. Please join us again. Welcome back to the program. In a continued crackdown on illegal utilities and inner city crime, Johannesburg's acting mayor, Kenny Kunene, led raids on hijacked and dilapidated buildings in the central business district today in South Africa. Or during the operation, around 40 undocumented foreign nationals were arrested, some found in possession of fake passports and fraudulent identity cards. Kunene says these findings point to a possible syndicate producing counterfeit documents in the city. Authorities also shut down an unregistered crèche discovered operating in hazardous conditions, including makeshift cardboard walls.
We are going to do an inspection at some of the buildings. This is a multi-departmental program. We've got transport and JRA is also here. We are going to look at illegal connections. We are going to look at the hijacked buildings. But the buildings that the MMC through EMS has identified, EMS has done some reports on the risks in these buildings. And that is why today we are starting this program to go and do the disconnection of illegal connections, both water and lights. And then we are also we have invited Home Affairs, Immigration. We are waiting for them, but they will find us on the way. Oh, they are here. Yeah. So Immigration is also here. We'll also check those who do not have the right papers to be in the city of Johannesburg. And once we find them, then. That's why we've got so many vans here. We are putting them in the vans so that they can go to Lindela.
Jihadist fighters have launched a series of simultaneous attacks on military posts across numerous towns in Mali, marking the third major assault on the army over the last month. Mali's armed forces claimed it has repelled the attacks, allegedly neutralizing more than 80 militants, without saying or speaking of any other casualties. The JNIM, an al-Qaeda-linked group who claimed responsibility for the attack, says it had taken control of 3 army barracks. For more than a decade, Mali has been wrecked by a deadly Islamist insurgency, as well as attacks from separatist movements. Dozens of protesters have clashed with police on the streets of the Senegalese capital, Dakar, after a demonstration escalated into chaos. Police officers in the streets deployed tear gas as protesters threw projectiles at the officers. The protest erupted after 2 people drowned earlier in the day while trying to escape from a police identity check. Witnesses accuse the police of brutality while conducting the check, triggering social unrest in the capital. Law enforcement reportedly reached an agreement with the protesters following the release of a protester that was arrested during the clashes before withdrawing from the streets. An investigation has been launched into the circumstances surrounding the two deaths. The Sudan Founding Alliance, a group of anti-government political factions, announced the formation of its leadership body on Tuesday, with Rapid Support Forces Chief Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo appointed as chairman. The alliance claims it would be a step towards building a new secular, democratic and decentralized Sudan. According to the spokesperson, Aladdin Nakad, the founding alliance aims to put a final and sustainable end to wars by addressing their root causes. All this comes despite ongoing fighting between the RSF and the Sudanese army, which began in April 2023. The conflict has resulted in the deaths of more than 20,000 people, while millions have been displaced. Additionally, over 25.6 million Sudanese are suffering from a severe food crisis. In neighboring South Sudan, the United Nations mission in that country says thousands of displaced families who fled the brutal intercommunal conflict that erupted in Tambura, Western Equatoria in 2021, they remain in IDP camps. While some families are living in makeshift tents in the camp, more relatives are scattered between their hometown and other villages in the neighboring counties of Ezo and Yambio. Well, the camp is one of 5 locations where displaced families are seeking sanctuary. Well, through the collective efforts of local authorities and the UN peacekeeping mission, the area is regularly patrolled to provide security. The peacekeepers also regularly meet with the communities to hear and respond to their needs. Despite many challenges, the mission in South Sudan says it continues to support all efforts to restore calm, peace and stability so that families torn apart by the conflict can live safely together again.
We really achieved a lot where we go to discuss on the security measures that they need to take them amongst themselves first, as individuals and also as the camp at large, and also as handmaids where we have force protection based in Tambura who can always come and respond to their issues, and whenever they call, the forces are always ready to come and respond, and that is the role of handmaids that we play in ensuring the place is safe and security. And then on top of that, also we do the sensitization, and more so in one of the pillars where we advocate for ending sexual violence, which is termed as a weapon of war, which has been constantly used here, affecting all the victims across, that is women, girls, men and boys, and also the elderly who are the vulnerable to this act.
Achieving peace in Africa requires inclusive governance, strong institutions, regional cooperation and investment in education and youth empowerment. Well, this was the crux of the Peace and Sustainability Summit, which organized by the United Nations partner civil society organization Water Light Save Initiative. Well, speakers from around the world emphasized the need for Africa to navigate its complex realities by making sustainable peace a shared responsibility among governments, civil societies and international partners. Young people were also encouraged to be change makers in promoting peace and serve as mediators in conflicts, using their social media and digital platform to improve peace and environmental sustainability. According to summit participants, the continent's pursuit of peace has been challenged by historical injustices, political instability, economic inequality and ethnic conflicts. Therefore, only sustainable peace is essential for the continent's growth and integration into the global economy.
We have some very good UN processes. So they came from Security Council Resolution 1325 that was passed on the 30th of October 2000. And as a result of that, there are further 8 resolutions which have some really good elements in it in terms of peace building initiatives. Of course, one of the things we need to have is the people who are at the peace table shouldn't be the people who perpetrated the conflict in the first place. Unfortunately, at most peace tables, you have the perpetrators present. And unfortunately, I have to say, this audience accepted the majority of the perpetrators are male. Whereas if you have women at the peace table, you see that the resolutions are more far-sighted, and they're more about the community and the betterment of the community. Whereas often the perpetrators of the conflict who are at the peace table are more looking about how to keep their power or keep the land that they already have got or maintain some kind of control. And obviously, you're not going to get a good peace deal if that's the motivation of the people at the peace table. So complex situations are often complex because of this difference in interests. Is people want to keep a certain amount of land, or they want to keep control over resources.
Change will not come if we wait for some other person or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones that we have been waiting for, and we are the change that we seek. That's a quote that President Obama had made popular. And so you have to sometimes start from the beginning. If you have a policy that you want to see change, have you decided or have you looked into what the new policy should resemble and look like? You can take that policy proposal to your elected officials and lobby it that way. And then again, if they don't want to change the policy, then you put them out of office, you vote them out.
In Ghana, a 19-year-old tech innovator, Henry Agbemabiese, has developed a smart VI Attach, a device aiming to enhance traditional white canes for visually impaired individuals in Accra. Mr. Henry shares that his mission for inclusive innovation began after surviving a fire incident several years ago, citing funding and lack of mentorship as key challenges for developing his device. Or future developments of the Smart VI Attach include expanding its reach and integrating features such as cameras and head tracking.
I faced the fire incident 6-7 years then. And that fire incident, it was very crucial, but then I wasn't disabled. But because of the scar on my hand, society thought I was disabled or labeled me as disabled. So I was feeling the pain of persons with disability, but I wasn't a person with a disability. So growing up, I found out I had skills or passion for technology. So I wanted to use my passion to serve a good purpose. So that was what led me to develop products to impact persons with disability. And
that's it on the program today. Thank you for watching. I'm Layo Olarinde.